Alright, so answer me this:
Okay.
Scooby Doo or Scooby Doo 2? Monsters Unleashed.
Oh, which is the one with Scrappy Doo? Is that the first one?
That's the first one, yeah.
Oh, okay. I think the first one's more fresh in my mind.
Yeah,
However, I do think when I was younger, I watched the second one a lot more.
yeah.
And even when I was younger,
Oh, that's that
I
tinky
uh,
chuckle. Oh, here it comes.
I I did love that transformation of Velma.
What for Velma? Yeah.
Oh, man,
Oh, I still talk about that to this day. You know, I've
that's
I've
too
only
good.
I've only recently watched it back and realized that the jumpsuit she's wearing is red, I don't know.
It's a nice
Whatever
damn
it is.
jumpsuit, though. I'll give it that.
Yeah, she just comes down squeaking, and she's like, "Who's your mommy?" And Seth Green's just
Young
like,
Cameron
"Huh?"
was just like, oh.
What?
But anyway, yeah, they're both good movies.
Yeah,
I only recently found out as well that, well, I knew there was a one where they did like the younger versions of them. But they
yeah,
had two of those films. I didn't know they had
yeah,
fucking two.
yeah.
Because I was like looking and it was like, oh, get the 4-pack now. And I was like, four?
Four pack.
What am I missing here?
Do you know what
And then
did
there
used
was
to
also a
slap?
fifth one. Oh, go on, sorry.
Look, so they used to have the animated films,
Oh,
like
yeah.
Scooby Doo
Those
and the
were really
Cyber
good.
Chase. Um,
Uh,
the one in Shaggy turned into a werewolf, and he had a red shirt on instead of a green one for some reason.
oh, yeah.
That shit threw me off guard.
They did some good ones with like Batman and stuff as well.
Oh, there's so many of them.
Yeah, there's a lot. Nowadays they're doing ones with like WWE and
Yeah,
I don't know. I think there's at least one
Johnson.
like every other year as well.
They've just got to keep
But yeah.
the intellectual property alive, really, you know.
Yeah, and they're doing it quite well.
Yeah.
And so are we today.
The two damn cousins out, they're watching movies. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Reinventing the Real. That may have been the best transition you've done. That was so seamless. Like
Well,
I
you
feel
know.
like you just turned to the camera and went, so. Oh,
Another day, another reel.
yeah, that's it. I like that. But I think it's fairly obvious what we're doing this week. If you haven't picked it up already, we're doing Scooby Doo.
Like Scoob, they're doing an episode of Video. That was terrible. Oh boy.
Oh,
Jesus, Jesus.
something really creepy's just happened. Sorry, the
Oh,
second I've said Scooby Doo and I did the
yeah,
impression, a cat's just
yeah.
like walked up to my window and it's just scratching on it.
Oh my.
That's a hard pass from me. I'm just gonna turn around and carry on recording. Yeah. Um. Yeah. No, I love Scooby Doo. I always have. I love the movies written by James Gunn. I love the old animated show. What's New Scooby Doo was great as well.
What's this Scooby Doo? They're coming after you. They gotta solve that mystery.
Mystery. Who is that by? That's by like Blink-182 or someone like that.
Oh, something like,
It's by like an actual
uh,
band, and I only found this out
yeah,
recently, and I was like, oh, that's crazy. And they still perform that song like at gigs and shit.
yeah.
Look, everyone should know how we work now. We're reinventing the
Mhm.
reel. So what do? We take a film and we put a real twist on it. Oh, nice.
Nice.
And it will basically be us like adding some randomizers to it or pitching it in a way that we think, hey, how can we make this more us? Yeah,
Right, right.
it's a
Exactly.
pretty apt description.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
how are you feeling about this week? Do we have any ideas, or do we want to hit
Oh
a
yeah.
randomizer?
I've got an idea, and uh, yeah. I think we should hit the game changers first before I start it coming out
Yeah.
because I can just go on about this idea for a bit. I got
Okay.
some I got some things.
So I guess you know what it's time for then.
Oh yeah. Spin
Spin
that
that reel.
reel.
I still can't do the real sound. We got the director has to have a cameo.
Okay, so that would be us.
Nice. We're just gonna pop up as two random characters. Nice.
Yeah. They take off the masks and it's us.
What if it's with the same person and they take off a mask twice and it's like. The next one is attempt to start a franchise.
That fits pretty well with my idea as well, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to go for one more? Was that good?
Sure.
Yeah. All right.
Try it. Why not?
Sloop. We got has to have narration.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
These are pretty good. I can work
Okay.
with these.
Yeah. I was kind of scared that we were gonna get ones that would like totally derail this idea because
Yeah.
the energy that you come into this episode with really gets me excited.
Mhm. But obviously, I'm coming off with this big energy. Have you got any ideas? Why don't
I
you take it first?
you know genuinely I was so excited. So we've been planning this episode for a few weeks now.
Yeah.
And today's just crept up on me, and again I have nothing, but I feel like I'm a very in the moment bouncing ideas kind of guy,
Okay.
and like I don't want to take
Well,
it one way completely and then it like derails it. Yeah, you know, I like the energy you're coming with. I want to.
okay. Well, let me give you this.
Okay.
So I had three ideas initially, and I'll
Okay.
start with like where I started, and I'll end with the one I want to do the most. So the
Ooh,
first one was
okay.
obviously like easy, bloody, oh, they're actually solving real murders and all that kind of thing, blah blah blah. You know, just the kind of like, that's easy kind of thing.
Where's
Then
the
I
fun?
thought, yeah, then I thought I'd go with the new Scoob movie. I haven't seen it, but
Yeah,
I've
neither
watched
have I.
like videos on it, and apparently they were kind of attempting to start like a Hanna-Barbera universe,
Yeah,
and I was
they've got.
thinking like, could I go down that route of like crossovery type, all that, and like bringing these universes together? Yeah. And like maybe add some time travel in there, but then I'm like, they kind of did that with Cyber Chase, but even though that was a game type thing, so I was like, oh, I could think on that. And then it hit me what I wanted to do:
Oh, okay.
a Scooby Doo
Yeah.
mockumentary. So it's like it's framed as a real documentary type thing, but obviously it's kind of like more on the side of
Like The
fiction.
Office or yeah.
Yeah,
Oh no no.
they're
Oh,
like
so
it's
like
more
a
like
like Ghost Hunters kind of.
Yeah, that kind of thing mixed with some
Yeah.
American Vandal type, like,
Yeah yeah.
they're interviewing people, or so like I'd see this because it's a franchise. I'd see it as a TV show as well. You could
Okay, I like
like
this.
it would like be maybe episode one is like, or they all sit down, and they're like, my name is Fred, my name is Velma, da da da. I don't know their second names.
Fred
Daphne, da da
Fred
da.
Jackson, I think.
Mhm.
I know Shaggy's surname is Rogers.
Oh yeah.
Bang bang. You know this. Um, and I know Scooby's full name is Scooby Doo.
Well,
That
let's
is the
say they all sit down in front of the camera, and then they're all like, "Oh, they're listing off their names and all that."
mhm.
And they're like, "Yeah, we are uh Mystery Incorporated," and bam, that's the title.
Nice.
It's just called Mystery Incorporated. No Scooby Doo in there. It's just Mystery Incorporated because it's not just about this one thing. It's about the whole collective.
It's about the gang.
Yeah, and so obviously, like the narration would probably come from each of the characters and like how they deal with all these type of things, and maybe it's more of like on the side of a true crime documentary. So it's like, oh, this is what happened years ago. Like, how did you go through all this? And maybe there was a lawsuit or something that they came upon. So like, I don't know, they were sneaking around somewhere that they shouldn't have been, going up against this big ass corporation, and then they were just like, it backfired. When they thought they were gonna catch like a criminal, they ended up catching a case themselves.
Ooh,
So
okay.
this is just a loose idea, but as of now, it's a documentary style series following Mystery Incorporated on one of their most scandalous adventures yet. Or some shit, I don't know. Anything you think you could add to that?
Okay, so in terms of casting, are we thinking like we all have like actual actors in there, or do you want to have like unknowns kind of touch the roles?
Just any, as long as they kind of fit the
Fit the vibe.
fit the look of the characters and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no one's popping into head right now, but let's be real. Like in my head, I've just got like the animated characters.
Yeah,
Like
I
they're
can see like
basically these archetypes.
the guy who actually plays Shaggy, like the live action one
Oh yeah,
back in the day, and he does like the voice now, kind of for him for a lot of the
yeah,
time. He could work if we're going on like an older thing of maybe like you know the gangs or like maybe I don't know about retired or they've all moved on from like
yeah.
they all do different things now.
And it like time jumps
Mm.
between like their final case and thing.
Other little things like things that happened in their lives, like oh, I heard Shaggy had to go to rehab or something. I don't know. I also had an idea of oh my god, wait, it's gone out of my head now. Oh shit, it'll come back to me.
It's all good. It's all good. Don't force it. We'll be talking in like 2 minutes, and you go ah. It was that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll pop straight back. So like, were you thinking then? So like a continuous timeline, or do you want like a back and forth? So like whoever the documentarian is. So in not like in the style of Catfish,
Mm-hmm.
and there's this guy, and he's like, so I've recently found out that my aunt Daphne, whatever her surname, was in a very successful blah 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 back in the 50s or
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
and it's like him sat with like his aunt who's older, and they're like going through like the books together,
Yeah.
and she's like, oh, I remember we did that, and then he like bounces around and has interviews with the other members of Mystery Inc. who are now
Yeah.
like in their 40s or whatever.
What reminds me now, I got the idea.
Yeah.
I think the whole like Scooby Doo franchise, it is a like a well-known franchise in this world, and it actually did happen. But obviously, like all these things have spawned off of it. So like the animated series, the
Yeah.
thing. I don't know whether we
Okay.
should keep Scooby talking. I think it's a integral part of it. But he
Mm.
just sits down like, well, I don't know. I just think back in the day we were just a couple of young kids running around and just
He's like voiced
doing
by
what we
Morgan
loved.
Freeman or something.
Yeah. The guy's just like, oh, so tell me about how your voice changed and like how you undergoed that. Well, it was some
It was an executive
heart-wrenching
decision.
surgery. Things could have went wrong, and there was a lot of tension in the group. Like Shaggy didn't want my voice to change, and Daphne was just against the whole procedure. But now she's done loads of work on her, and it like pans to her, and she's got like you know she's a real social media influencer, and
Yeah.
she's had loads of work done or
Like one of
whatever.
those like the Real Housewives of Coolsville.
Yeah, yeah, and she's had one of those shows.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Okay, see, I
She's been
like
on
this.
one. Yeah,
So she's on a show like that, like the Real Housewives of Coolsville or whatever.
yeah, yeah. Maybe do you want her and Fred to be together or
Maybe. maybe actually no. I think she should be with someone younger. And
Yeah, yeah,
and
she's like
Fred's
cougar type.
yeah. I think Fred should own like a father and son type business that he's inherited
Right,
from
yeah,
his dad, and now he runs it with his son.
like a trap selling business or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. And his son's just like, Dad, it's the '90s. No one needs traps, and he's like, everyone needs traps. We And then like Chris Hansen walks in, and he's like, I'll be very interested in buying some of your. Oh.
So, I say the overall structure of this thing.
Hmm.
Going back to that, so yeah, it's just maybe like a Where Are They Now series,
Yeah,
and then since it's a franchise, I guess the next sort of thing would be them coming back together to solve a mystery that only they can solve. But that kind of goes off like the back of the first film, isn't it? Because they like
yeah.
something happened to them, they broke up, and then they had to be together. Oh, hmm.
Well, maybe if it's got to be a franchise, does it have to be a Scooby Doo franchise, or we could
That's
it
what I
kind of
was thinking as well.
yeah, like it could turn into like
It was like a Hanna-Barbera.
yeah.
Where Are They Now?
What if
Like you could have a wacky races, fucking.
the person who's doing the interview, the researcher, what if he's like the grandson of Space Ghost,
Oh yeah,
and so instead of having a talk show, he goes around and does like these interviews and stuff, or
yeah,
something like that. Is that his
sounds good.
name, Space Ghost?
I think
I know
I know
the
who
show's
you're on
called
about though.
Space Ghost Coast to Coast or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's a good idea. And hmm, yeah, so it would just follow like how they were, what they're doing now, the case that was like for them. No, we can't do this. You know how they're all dealing with their fame, what happened. So yeah, so
Yeah.
I like the fact that it's Velma's like nephew or whatever.
Mhm.
And then I also like the fact that it's Fred, father and son thing.
Yeah, I think that's
And
quite
then
funny.
also Daphne in the thing. So what about Shaggy? Obviously I
Yeah.
said about rehab, but
I
maybe I
think
don't know.
I think he should be like very polar opposite. I think he should be very straight
Yeah.
laced, like working as like an accountant or something like that.
He's on Wall
He's
Street or something.
yeah, he has to wear like a suit to work, and
Yeah.
he's very like prim and proper.
Yeah, but he keeps the same voice though.
Yeah.
He's like still like got that Shaggy flair to him.
Go on, let's hear it. I know you want to do it.
Oh. So like, man, I was no, I can't do it. Nah.
I love
But
all of our voices are
obviously
just
with
like
Scooby,
2 minutes.
with
Yeah, with
Scooby, it's
Scooby.
like he's just he's famous. He's Scooby Doo, isn't he?
Yeah,
Like
he's a
maybe he has
talking
like a
dog.
late night show. It's like
Yeah,
late night
yeah,
with Scooby Doo.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Rum on round. Yeah,
Oh, god
yeah.
damn.
I like that. So it's Scooby. What about Velma?
Uh, I don't know. She's maybe I like
What?
the idea of her still being like a mystery person because she
Yeah,
seems like the most into that role.
yeah. I think she's
Uh,
very often overlooked, but I think she's kind of like the beating heart of the team.
yeah, exactly. So I think for her, maybe it hit her the worst, the most.
Yeah,
So like when the team broke up, she was like, oh, when she's recounting this, everyone was like, oh, it was whatever, you know. It was time that we could that we knew we had to break up soon anyway. This was just a wake up call, and she was just like, I had never like been more upset in my life.
Yeah,
This wasn't only my team; they were my
it's my
family, and
family.
like this wasn't just like a hobby to me. It was a passion that I've always followed, and it's just I was just so lucky to have been into it so much in my life. Yeah,
And
that's kind of sad.
so like they go to her house and maybe it's like there's like threads of yarn everywhere and like not yarn like string. There's like
Yeah,
string and like notes and so whatever the case is that broke them up from all those years ago. She's still been like trying to crack it like in her spare time.
yeah,
So there's piles of like unsifted through papers and just like the lighting in her house is all dingy. There's probably like she's probably got like two or three cats just wandering around, and there's like a
yeah.
food bowl in the corner that's just like filled high with cat food, but like it hasn't been
No, no,
touched.
no, no. It's filled with Scooby snacks, actually.
Oh yeah, she's just feeding her cat Scooby snacks. So what we're thinking then is if we're gonna go down the track of like, this is a mockumentary.
Yeah.
Is it going to be like the person trying to figure out what this case all those years ago was and like what happened and
I think it starts off as like a where are they now? Like Mystery Inc. And then it
yeah,
like the document to just he's like, oh, after like speaking with Velma and stuff, like I don't think this was such an open and shut case. I think like there's more things at work here.
yeah,
And yeah,
okay,
the
yeah,
case. I think the case has to be something quite big. It's not just like
like a
people
conspiracy.
wearing masks. Yeah, because like they were told either you drop this case or you're facing like massive lawsuits and you
Like you're
know,
fucked.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Ooh.
Like, they were facing loads of lawsuits and they had to be like, we need to drop this. And but obviously
Yeah.
like looking back at it now, it's like, oh my god,
How high up does this go?
exactly. So I'm thinking it is some sort of company, and maybe like Shaggy works for them. You know, that's where he's gone now,
Yeah.
and
I like that.
so we got a man on the inside. Maybe he wasn't like so let go of it. That's why he joined them. Like Velma looks at him and goes, "How could he join them?" Like that's it just goes against everything we stood for and whatnot.
Yeah. Like he's the enemy.
And then Shaggy's just like, when he's saying like, "Oh, why did I take this job?" You can see like in his eyes, there's there's a reason why.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, I just needed a job, you know. It was the only thing going." But obviously, you know, this is Scooby Doo. They love a good mystery, and they need it.
Okay. Ooh. What if? So like all those years ago, whatever the company is, let's say it's some sort of like we're forcing people out of their homes or something by claiming there
Yeah,
are monsters there, something like that, like
yeah,
along those kind of
that
lines.
sounds good. Yeah,
And the reason that Shaggy folds is that him and his family are poor, so they live like on the outskirts of town.
yeah.
So like his mum's just died or something, so he's got like a
Oh,
single dad, um, trying to take care of him and his four sisters. So
oh,
so like the company are like, hey, if you fold, we'll give you this new house and we'll help clean you up and get you this job so you can help support your sisters because like he's the eldest out of all of his siblings, so he would have been how old are they
yeah,
in the show? They're like what, like 18, 17, something like that.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. They're young.
So like his next eldest sibling is like 13, and then the rest of them are like 8 and below.
Really young. Yeah.
Yeah.
this also can create conflict between Shaggy and Scooby. It's like, oh, so how often do you see each other? And then maybe it was like either Scooby was gonna give Shaggy help with like all the money he's making from him being like this
This big
talking
talk
dog,
show.
and
Yeah,
and he's like when they have the bloody show on the old show, it says Scooby Doo. It doesn't say like Mystery Incorporated or whatever.
yeah,
So uh, either Scooby goes to help Shaggy, or Shaggy asks Scooby for help and Scooby doesn't give it. It's one of those. Which would you
yeah,
rather
yeah.
go for?
I think if we have Shaggy asks Scooby for help, so
And he
he
doesn't do
doesn't.
it.
Yeah, he doesn't really open up to people like that anyway. So let's have
Yeah.
Shaggy ask Scooby for help, and Scooby's like, "Hey, I'm just taking off now. Like I don't really want to risk anything because if my name gets
Oh.
mixed up with all this, it could ruin my career and everything and blah 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 blah."
Oh.
And so then Shaggy's like, "You mean serious? Like all this time, you were my best friend.
Yeah. Oh my
it's
god.
not like I need this to get my family out of this bad situation." And that's the tipping point that
Yeah.
pushes him over to being like, "Hey, industrial
I'll go
corp."
for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh,
Oh.
drama.
Yeah. All good
Okay.
documentaries need it though. Whoa.
I like this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so then, if so, in the modern day, then let's have so Coolsville, which is their town,
Yeah.
is basically like it's very much like been commercialized, and there's like a Starbucks on every corner and a this
Yeah.
and a that, you know.
There's a Scooby house,
Yeah.
where you go for good food and whatnot. Half of the town is like this corporation, and then the other half is like Scooby Doo branding.
Yeah. There's like giant like there's like a giant billboard that Shaggy has to drive past every day on his way to work, and it's like Scooby,
Oh,
like
it's just Scooby
he's
Doo
like holding a
pointing at the
box of
camera.
Scooby snacks. He's like, "They're great,"
Yeah,
but not that copyright.
yeah.
They're great. Yeah.
Oh,
So what I'm thinking then is maybe so what would be the thing that would make for the documentary, because then this company's been working in the shadow, well, not in the shadow, but you know what I mean, for all these years. What I think, and I think this is kind of pulling like a Last of Us 2 vibe here. You stop me
go on.
if you're not a fan. What if Velma's on the verge of a breakthrough
Yeah.
and she gets
Oh
killed?
my. Oh. Oh. Okay. I don't want to say she gets killed. I
Yeah.
want to say she gets hospitalized,
Okay.
and like
So
she's like
she's out of
this
commission.
brings the gang back together,
That's what yeah.
like to go see her, and then she's like, "Oh, I never got to say to you guys like how much you all meant to me. Like I could have died, and I would have never got to say like how much it hurt me that we all broke up."
Yeah.
And then that's kind of
think
like
Scooby
a
should be there though.
no. He like walks in.
He sent
He
flowers or something.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Just
And then like
yeah.
they meet up, and fucking Scooby and Shaggy start fighting. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Drama. Oh.
it should be everyone everyone in the room, and like Shaggy's the last one to get there or something.
Yeah.
No. Okay, so they're all in the room already. No, Shaggy's the
Mhm.
first one there because Shaggy and Velma have always been close as well. So
Yeah.
so Shaggy's the first one there, and the documentarian is it's like a like kind of shaky cam because it's just another dude
Yeah.
holding the camera behind him, and he's like oh
It's me and you.
yeah it's me and you because we have to have a cameo.
Yeah.
I'm the guy holding the camera.
No, we're not even like the documenter. We're just like you're the guy holding the camera. I'm the guy holding like the boom mic and stuff. So I'm the sound guy. You're the video guy.
Okay, so we walk in to the room, and like the host, let's give him a name. Let's say like Dax or something. I don't know. He's like, oh,
Yeah.
he's like, hey, where's everyone else? and Shaggy's like, oh, well, Fred's just closing stuff up at the shop or
Yeah.
whatever. Daphne's shooting some
Daphne's
promos.
filming. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like, oh wow, look at all these flowers, and they were like small flowers, and then there's like a huge bouquet in the corner, and there's
Yeah.
like Scooby Doo like soft toys in there and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a card that says "Get Rail Shoe."
And like you can just see like the distaste like in Shaggy's face. Like the camera pans to
Yeah.
it and then pans back to Shaggy, and it's like like in The Office when Jim just looks at the camera and he's like.
Yeah.
And then like everyone else comes in, and then we have like that emotional moment, like you were saying. And then just near the end, Scooby walks into the room in like a tailored suit, and he's on the phone, but he's got like a
Yeah.
like a Bluetooth like earpiece for some reason.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's actually because it's the 90s. Yeah. He's got like a along those lines or something.
Yeah.
And there's just silence in the room, and the camera's just panning between them, and then they run at each other, and you just hear like, and like there's like shaky cam and whatnot, and like the guys are trying to pull them apart, and
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my god! And then it just cuts,
yeah.
and it just says like, I don't know.
So are we having this as a document, or should we do it as a series and have each episode?
It's a
like
documentary series. It's like how American Vandal is really.
yeah,
Where
yeah,
it's
I think this can only work as a series.
yeah, definitely.
Because then we can have like high drama moments to end every episode.
Yeah,
And,
like
that's
that
one
one.
of 'em.
And then the next episode starts, and it's just like maybe at this point it was the hardest point to get like Scooby on the show, and it's just like starting, and he's putting on the mic and stuff. He's
Yeah.
like, okay, how long have I got to do this for?
Yeah.
Like,
It's very much.
time is money and all that kind of thing.
Like,
Oh, I hate him. He's
like-
such a dick, but
Yeah.
I love it.
He's a prick, but he doesn't think that they're recording yet. And then you can tell when they're
Yeah.
like, okay, then he very much goes into this like, so, like
Yeah,
he's
like
very
an upbeat.
two-faced.
Oh,
I really
I love
like
it.
making
I can't
Scooby
lie, I
as
love it.
Some sort of like villainous heel.
yeah,
I think the fact that Scooby is the one as well who is this dick now. Well, I feel like
Yeah.
he should have always been like a bit of a prick, but the fact he's now this big dick, and the fact that he didn't. So Shaggy's the one who like sold out to the company, and Scooby gives him shit for it. Like you can tell in like the way he carries himself. But then there's a fat load of hypocrisy because like the studio that owns his show and whatnot is the same company and blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah blah, something like that,
yeah. It's all connected.
Yeah, I wanted to have Velma. I feel like Velma dying was a bit far, but I wanted to have her
Yeah,
be the thing that brings them together. But I thought maybe if we have her out of commission as well, because she's the one
Yeah.
who's the most connected to the case, and she's the smart one. It would be fun to see. Well, not fun, but it'd be interesting to see how the rest of them, who weren't
Yeah.
like as smart, tried to crack this case after 40 years of not speaking or whatever.
yeah. So it's working with like Fred's son as well, the documentaire, because he's related to Velma. So maybe like she asked Daphne to like, oh, can you go pick up something from my house or whatever, or Shaggy, whoever you think would work in this situation.
Yeah.
And they go to the house and see like all the stuff there, and they're like, oh my god. And then they're like, it takes them a little bit, but they're like, oh my god, this is actually like, this is a
She's
thing.
onto something.
Like,
but what if there's someone in the house at the time trying to like get rid of the evidence?
yeah, they
And
catch him. Oh,
And the person, instead of being like some sort of ninja, they just like sprint out, and the cameraman's like trying to chase them like down the street. And, okay.
yeah.
Ooh.
Let's say it's Shaggy who went to the house,
Yeah.
right? And then so the guy who's sprinting out, like he tries to catch him, and then like the Scooby comes. I don't know if he's driving or whatever. Maybe Scooby's driver hits the guy who came out of the house,
Yeah.
and then
Okay.
like he gets out of the car. He's like, oh my god, like whoa.
And the guy's wearing a mask.
They pull
And
it off.
they like take the mask off, and it's like Velma's doctor in the hospital or something like that.
Yeah, it's like, sir, sir, sir.
Yeah,
I would have
Doctor
gotten away with it
Johnson.
too if it wasn't for you.
And it's like it's played by The Rock or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah.
I kind of really want to cast Mystery Inc. now, but like no one's spring. I'm just seeing the characters, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird because I've got this like real image of
People,
like real life situations, but they're like
semi,
cartoon characters in like a
yeah.
real hospital or whatever. It's strange. It's strange.
It's like
But
I'm
I also
seeing
see
their
like
bodies and whatnot, but there's no particular faces.
yeah. I also just see like Scooby Doo as like the CGI one.
Yeah.
'Cause that's the most like one I see being a prick, really. Oh, so what's the thing then? What let's say they've kind of got to something. What's the thing that brings it all together and like closes the case?
Okay.
Do you
So
think?
I think maybe we should end on a cliffhanger,
Oh,
like for the series, and that's what like then sets up them being like, okay, so we have to now. So yeah. So what if this whole series is like just like a recap of everyone and what they used to do and blah 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 blah, and
yeah,
then the stakes start to get raised nearer the end of the series,
yeah. Mhm.
and then they all like kind of come back together and they're all stood around Velma's hospital bed, and then except for Scooby, and then Scooby comes in like right at the end and he's like, okay, let's do this,
Yeah.
and then like the
Yeah.
series ends.
And I think every series should be like a different sort of style. It's maybe it still keeps the documentary flair, but then the next one's more like a ghost hunter type thing where
Yeah.
they're like it's all found footage maybe or
And,
taken from CCTV,
yeah,
and
they
it's not
have,
like they
like,
don't
those
really
black and
sit
white
down
cameras.
and talk. It's more like there's a fourth wall, but there isn't
Yeah,
in a
no,
way.
I get what you
So
mean.
like it's not jarring when they speak to the camera, but it's also like
It's
you
like
can tell it's scripted.
it's like a Steve Irwin kind of like, oh look, he's a beautiful stingray. He's the most majestic
Yeah.
creature in the ocean. I want to poke it with a fucking stick. That kind of
Yeah.
yeah. I quite like this. I like the idea that this company is like a big malevolent force,
Yeah.
and I like that Shaggy
Right.
still has to work for them.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And
No.
I just love the dynamic between Shaggy and Scooby.
Okay, so
And it's never fully
Shag-
gonna heal.
Shaggy should be really close with his sisters then. Like his dad, yeah,
Yeah.
his dad like fell into like a deep depression after the mum died, and became like an
Mhm.
alcoholic or something. So that's why Shaggy was like, oh, I need to pick up the slack here. I need to like care for all my sisters and whatnot. So he's really close with all his sisters, but especially his younger sister.
Mhm.
So
Are we
sh-
setting up a new Mystery Inc. here? A young Mystery Inc.
maybe.
This
Oh, I
is what
didn't
it
even
sounds
think
like.
of it. That's not even what I was
Because we've got
thinking.
Fred's son, we've
Yeah.
got the nephew of Velma,
Yeah,
we've got one of Shaggy's sisters.
yeah.
All we need now is
It's one of
like
Daphne's.
maybe Scooby's like a Daphne, and Scooby could still be in it as like the hey, it's me, I'm Scooby Doo.
I'm Nick
He just
Fury.
slots himself into this
team.
situation anyway. He's like, I am Mystery Inc. It's
Oh.
nothing without me,
Okay,
type of
okay.
thing.
I just got it. His show has seen a huge drop in ratings, and that's the reason he comes back.
Son of a bitch. Yeah, that's true.
The real.
Oh, that's
That's
good.
the,
That's
the
good.
reason he comes back, and then over the
Yeah,
course of
and like everybody's starting to be like, oh, you're actually being a good guy here, Scooby, and
Yeah.
then it
Everyone
all
except
like
for
unravels that he knows. Yeah.
No, I think everyone
This.
except for Shaggy should know that he's a prick. No, that it should be like, oh, he's somewhat nice, and then
Yeah.
we see Shaggy and Scooby slowly start to like get back to where they were, like ever so like you see little glimpses of it, and then
Oh,
he just has the rug like yeeted from underneath him. Like
oh.
he goes to answer Scooby's phone for him or something, and he's like, "Hey, have you managed to get the confession?" I just realized this is basically the plot of That's My Boy by Adam Sandler,
Oh.
but that kind of
Oh,
like,
no.
and it
Yeah,
just
yeah.
rips Shaggy to pieces.
Mm.
But then maybe
And he just
ultimately,
dropped.
yeah, like then maybe Shaggy understands like having to do something for the wrong reasons or whatever because he did it by selling everyone out all those years ago and he's
Yeah,
more
so he
forgiving
doesn't
this.
tell anyone
Yeah,
until like, or if there is a moment where it's like he just snaps, maybe.
yeah.
But oh,
Oh,
that's
okay.
good. That's good.
So so they're like back in the hospital again or something. But let's say it's for something else. Like it's for a different reason. And they're like, I'm trying to. Maybe it's like okay, maybe one of Shaggy's sisters has been killed then or something because she was also helping them out.
Oof.
Because I feel like that's more
Okay.
expendable than a Velma.
Yeah, yeah,
So maybe like the next elder sister gets killed because Shaggy's like, hey, can you look into this for me? Because she works at like the library and has access to like public records or something. Well, I mean everyone does, but
God damn.
something like that. And
Yeah,
then so because of that, she gets killed, and like there's like an ominous note in like like cut up like newspaper writing, and it's like stop
yeah,
looking. And Scooby's like, no, we have to keep going, we have to keep going. Blah, blah, everyone else is like, yeah, this is why we stopped all those years ago. This is dangerous. This isn't like we're not
yeah,
teenagers anymore. This isn't a game. There are
hmm,
scarier things in the world than old men in masks. Ooh,
yeah.
I kind of slap. Um,
That's good. Yeah.
and
Trailer
Scoob
moment.
and Scooby's just like, no, come on, guys, like we've come so close. We can't let this case get the best of us. This is what tore us apart all those years ago. Blah 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 blah. And Shaggy just loses it, and he snaps, and he's like,
Yeah,
and he can't hold it in anymore. He's like, no. He's like, I know all you guys hate me and resent me because you think it was me, but it wasn't just me. Scooby did it too.
yeah,
Scooby's been doing this, he did that, he did that. The fact that Scooby's now currently using us just to boost his ratings, and there's just like a pause in the room.
yeah.
I ain't talking about Scooby's hands. And they just
Oh,
look at each other, and there's just silence. And Scooby goes to say something, and Shaggy looks at him and goes, "Tell me it's not true. Look me in the eyes and
oh.
tell me that it's not true." And he says nothing because he can't.
Yeah. Oh, this is good.
Oh, this is the most dramatic episode.
Yeah. It's Scooby Doo.
Yeah,
How we managed to get more dramatic than the Black Swan with Scooby Doo. Crazy.
yeah.
Oh, and that's another crux in why they're just like, nah, screw this.
That should be like near the
Yeah.
end of a series, but not properly then.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
something else happens, or so what? Okay, so what if Velma hasn't been? Actually, no, because we need to have that initial interaction with Scooby and Shaggy in the hospital and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah.
But okay, let's say Velma's still in the hospital then or whatever,
Hmm.
and then something else will happen, like some sort of like they're all some like a little mini side mission, and they're like, oh, okay, Shaggy, you go with Daphne, and you guys do this. Or
Yeah.
so, yeah,
Split up and look for clues,
Shaggy and
sort of
Daphne.
thing.
Yeah,
Mm.
you guys go check Velma's house to see what happens. Blah blah blah, and then that's when Scooby shows up with his driver, but he hasn't got his camera crew with him. He's not wearing the same stupid suit or anything. Maybe he's wearing like a hoodie.
It's just in his
That
collar.
yeah, it's just in his collar, like the same collar that Shaggy gave him all those years ago.
Oh.
And this is when they're at Daphne's house and everything still happens like the way it happened. And
Uh-huh.
like they're like holding the guy down, and it's Scooby and Shaggy doing it, and he looks at him and he looks at the collar and he's like, you still have it? And he's like, yeah. And
Oh.
then they go to the hospital again or whatever, but Scooby's not there.
Hmm.
So yeah, so maybe Shaggy and Scooby have a moment, and Shaggy's like I appreciate what you're doing, and like I forgive you, but I can't forget it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not
Exactly.
having you do that again. So if you're gonna be here for us, be here for us, or fucking leave.
Exactly. Oh.
and it's like the only f-bomb in the whole thing.
Yeah, they're only
And
allowed one thing. That's why
and
there's
then
only like one murder in the next
yeah,
series as well.
and then
They
there's
can only
just
hit like certain
silence.
quotas.
And then so Scooby just gets in his car and drives off or whatever, and Shaggy calls the gang and he's like, "Hey, meeting at the hospital. You know, I think yeah." And so they're all in Velma's room then, and they're all talking and blah 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 blah. And they're like, "Oh, but maybe there's a piece of the puzzle that they can't quite figure out about the company
Yeah.
or something." And then that's when Scooby comes in and he's like, "I think I can help you with that."
Oh.
And it's got something to do with like the producer of his show or something like that. I don't know. I haven't ironed out the kinks. And that's how the show ends. So he walks in and he's just in his collar again and he's on all fours. Whereas like the rest of the show,
Oh,
he's been like on his two legs with like
hind
a
legs.
black,
Yeah.
yeah. And then maybe that's how the show ends.
There's also a moment where they're like, oh, we have to travel. Like maybe the end is like, or near the
Okay.
end. Like we have to
Yeah.
travel to a location. Like, oh, how are we gonna get there? And then Fred's like, oh, hold on, let me go look in my shop. And he
Yeah.
walks into like his garage and then just pulls a sheet
Like a
off this
huge dust
van.
cover.
Yeah, and Mystery Incorporated. That's how the show ends.
That's how the show
You
ends.
just see the van. Oh,
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
and that's where we're gonna leave it. I think
I think. Oh, chills.
that was good. That was
That was
really good.
that was
The
really
the
good.
drama. Oh, god damn.
I feel like
I like that.
it just kept building and building and layers on. I
It
think
did. Yeah.
it was like so I recently I got the masterclass from Aaron Sorkin, like talking about how to like do screenwriting,
Yeah.
and I was just watching it the other day, and he was like, oh, you know, every character needs to have a why. Like you can have villains, you can have heroes, but the best villain of any story is always the hero of his own.
Like Scooby.
Exactly. Like, they might not be a hero, but in their right, like the best people have rationality. They have a reason for why they're doing the things they do, and not just like, well,
Yeah.
some can be great and just be like, I just like chaos, like the Joker or something like that. But I feel like from now on, I'm gonna try and really ground like a lot of my characterizations and a lot of people in, like even if they're like a talking dog, I want to try and make them human as possible.
Yeah.
Because
I
think
mean,
that's
I
where
could
a
I
lot
could
of good
feel
drama
that
comes
with
from.
Scooby. I could feel him being a bloody a dick,
Yeah,
basically. Like it wasn't. We were just making it up on the spot,
yeah.
but I could feel the tension between them.
Like just like
You know?
when they walked into the room, like when he walked into the hospital room initially, I was like,
Yeah.
I paused and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
chill.
uh,
Yeah,
yeah. That was really good. I really enjoyed this episode.
yeah. No, so did I. I've noticed
So
that
yeah.
like at the end of every episode, it's me going, I think that might be one of our best episodes.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you. Midway through, I was thinking, oh, maybe this might be one of the weaker ones, but then like it
100%.
just changed.
Yeah, no,
It
same.
changed, and I was like, oh my god.
Like
But yeah,
I looked up at the timestamp and I was like, you know, like when the time kind of feels like it's not dragging, but it's like it's not flying.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah, but we'll be fine. We'll be fine. And then I looked up and it's like almost near an hour now, and I was like, oh damn. Yeah, no, yeah, great episode, man.
It has been. Thank you all for listening. As always, our socials, that real pod.
Yeah, we're
And
talking.
also, all episodes are now on YouTube.
Yeah,
We haven't really said much about that, but and all episodes after we'll still release like everything on everywhere else, but now YouTube's just another place
yeah.
to put them.
It's one more area. It makes the podcast somewhat more, you know, zhuzhy.
Accessible.
Yeah,
And,
I mean
yeah.
that's a better word than zhuzhy. But yeah, no. I've been Curtis.
I've been Cameron.
Yeah.
See you later, man.
I'll see you next week, man.
See you next week.